the prettiest face, Michael Landsberg from TSN 1050. Let's do it. Can we get him on the screen? Now we can't hear him.
I wasn't talking.
We got you. How you doing, Mike?
You know, I'm really good. I was just on a call. Hey, wait a second. I don't have to tell you who I was on a call with, but I just said literally 30 seconds ago, oh my God, I got to hang up on you right now. I'll call you back later on. I'm supposed to be on with Rod. And she went, what? So she got the point when I clicked off, and here I am. And I'd like to respond to, the earbuds and the headphones.
Please do.
So I think that the earbuds with the wire, with the cord, are really good. But if you wear the earbuds without the cord, with the Bluetooth ones, you look like midlife crisis man with 2 earrings. And honestly, like I go, oh my God, it looks like I'm wearing earrings, which nobody, God bless you if you want to wear earrings, great. But, not my style 100%. So I think the wire sends the message, I'm not wearing earrings. These are functional.
What do you wear in the morning on the radio? Cans, as we say back in the day in radio?
Yeah, cans, but also with a bar microphone. So it's But also I do that because I'm at home, right? And I'm broadcasting from home, and we have for 15 months. So I'm at my kitchen table in the morning, and I put the headset on and got the microphone there, and it's all pretty easy. And by the way, working from home, doing a radio show is freaking awesome. Don't tell anyone I said that. You have to be really careful not to celebrate your situation during the pandemic, because you got to be aware of the fact that, people have been, devastated by it. People have, lost their job, that kind of devastation, but also lost people that they love, and people are permanently, affected by it. But I've been so lucky because I could work from home. I get to sleep in for an extra half hour. As soon as I'm done, take the headset off and I'm done for the day. I have a 90-year-old father who has survived the pandemic. My family is all healthy. So, if I was a religious person, I would thank God for that. I'm not a religious person, so I'm going to thank Randy Ambrosi.
Well, you're spiritual, and let me say this. There's nothing wrong with being grateful and saying it. And that's what I'm hearing from you. So good for you.
Yeah.
And I do want to come back around on mental health, if you don't mind, because why wouldn't we talk about well, Carl Nassib, if you don't mind, because when he comes out as the first openly gay player in the NFL active, and my mind went to Michael Sam. He was more the trailblazer than this guy. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not a contest. It's not a race. What do you think this means for pro sports in the NFL?
I don't think anyone's going to say it's not a good thing, right? Michael Sam, can I tell you a quick story about Michael Sam?
Absolutely.
When he played for the Alouettes, we had him on Off the Record via satellite, right? And so I start the interview, and we're talking obviously about him being, an out gay man playing professional football. And he says, I don't want to talk about that anymore. And I'm thinking, okay, dude, you're not going to make the team. You're never going to get on the field. And if you do, you're going to probably play one game. You're just another import who's come to, I didn't say this to him, but it's like, why the hell would I care what you have to say about anything else at this point, right? Like, I want to speak to you because you have done this, really important thing, and that you are gay, you are proud of being gay, you are good with the idea that people will know, and you want to play football. So it was like, oh my God, it was a terrible interview, because he just wanted to talk about other stuff. And I said to him, I don't think you really want to talk CFL with me, because I don't even think you probably know how many downs there are. And I wasn't being a dick when I said it. It wasn't like, oh God, I can't believe. I said it in kind of a fun way. So
of course you would. Keep going. I'm enjoying this so much. Keep going.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, like, what else are you going to talk about? Sorry, but because he had just joined the Alouettes, and you knew that he probably wasn't going to be long for the CFL, because, guys who are linebackers who try out in the NFL who are slow typically, don't cut it in the CFL, where you got to go sideline to sideline, right? But in terms of the news, yesterday, I can't imagine anyone saying it's a bad thing But I think there's a limited effect because, and this actually really does tie to mental health. When I give talks, which used to be face to face and now are all virtual, when I was face to face, I would say to people, okay, I want to ask you guys some questions. How many of you think that racism is still a problem in 2021? And everyone puts up their hand, right? How many of you think that you're racist? Not many put up their hands. How many of you think the stigma around mental illness is still a problem in 2021? Everybody puts up their hand. How many of you think you're part of the problem with the stigma? No one puts up their hand. So I say either you are the most educated, well-informed, broad-minded people on the planet, or maybe you're not aware that you're part of the problem. And I think that's a lot of what we see with the news that we got yesterday is a lot of people saying, oh my God, this is great. Oh, it's so good. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for the day when we don't have to celebrate someone coming out of the closet. And a lot of those people, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them, maybe aren't as open-minded as they think they are, because everyone seems to think everyone else is part of the homophobic problem, yet no one seems to admit that they are part of the problem.
I could talk to you about this for days. 3 weeks ago, I finished a Recovery Coach Academy week-long. I had to take a week off here. Theron Fleury and I were both in it to be a certified recovery coach, which I now am. But we talked about white privilege. And it's like a lot of people that have white privilege don't even know that they have it because they've never lived outside, right? So that's the thing. But you grow up as a minority, you don't see females on the air, First Nations on the air, black people on the Asians, positions of leadership. I'm sorry to go down that road, people, but it opened my eyes because I don't consider myself a racist at all. But I'm like, Rod, you've had the best ticket in life that you didn't even know you had. It's a thing.
It's so true. And there's so much that I've reflected on because of mental health, because, mental health would be in the same category as LGBTQ, equal rights would be in the same category as racism, as bigotry when it comes to religion, as sexism. They're kind of all, marginalized groups who, in a lot of ways, are affected by other people's perception. And those people very seldom see themselves as part of the problem. America, just they don't see themselves, maybe because they don't want to, or maybe because some of them are lying. But, you talk to Americans about people of color and how they're so behind the curve, and how, black people in the United States make, I don't know what the percentage is, 20%, say, of what white people make. Like, how is that acceptable? And how is it possible that doesn't tell you that somebody's success in life is dictated by their race, their opportunities are dictated by race? So I think that we are, perhaps to some extent, especially in the U.S., going in the wrong direction. And in Canada, when you have First Nations topics that come up, people deny the fact that we stole their land and that we oppressed them and that we continue to. In a lot of people's minds, you are on. You're in. I was at Fond du Lac, Saskatchewan. Do you know Fond du Lac?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I went there to speak at a high school. And there's people that believe that Fond du Lac, Saskatchewan is impoverished because they're lazy, because this is what they choose. They choose to drink. They choose to have kids when they're 15 years old. It's like, I'm just getting worked up like you were now. I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off at just how, it's... Okay.
Oh, you're done? Okay. Well, I'm not
done, but...
Well, I know, but listen, it's a sports show, and that's what people are saying, stick to sports. But I just started to learn about generational trauma and what's encoded in your DNA when you experience it and you pass it along to your kids, blah, blah, blah. It's a topic, Michael, for another time. Can I just divert this just to the Stanley Cup?
Make sure that you have me on, because don't forget, in my life, I get told all the time, don't talk about politics. You see, I'm like... I've become obsessed. When Donald Trump came down the escalator and he announced that he was running, I became obsessed with my hatred for him. And as time has gone on, it's not like it's been alleviated. Watching 30,000 lies and watching Americans now, and I won't go on about this, but saying, January 6th, it was just looked like a normal tourist day. I'm like going, what world do we live in where it's now become acceptable to lie? So, bring me back and we'll talk about that. But as for now, we should talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, Jordan Ewart writes in, he's watching on YouTube. He says, trauma is a real thing. Sports and culture also goes together, people. It's 2021. Don't hide from these conversations. But I'm just saying, Michael and I could go on for literal hours on this because we're fascinated by it. I just want to leave you with this. The Stanley Cup playoffs, I saw Pierre LeBrun saying on SportsCenter last night, expect the unexpected. How awesome have they been in your mind?
I'm in Toronto, dude.
Sorry.
They've sucked. I actually was brought up on the Leafs. So I in my house growing up, the biggest thing was the Argos, by far in my house. My grandfather was a season's ticket holder in 1940, right after the war at Varsity Stadium. And he brought my dad up on the Argos, who brought me and my brother up on the Argos. And the Maple Leafs, my dad didn't love them as much as he loved the Argos, but, he was a Leaf fan or is a Leaf fan, and I inherited that. So I was super pissed off, super disappointed, and super, I think that we were all cheated because of the pandemic and our inability to fill stadiums or arenas. The hockey that we saw, was nothing like you see with the intensity. Like tonight in Vegas, it will be insane. It will be awesome. It will feel like just watching people. My daughter and I watch basketball together, and she's going, "Oh my God, look at those people! Those people in Brooklyn are going nuts. I want to be able to go nuts in that kind of environment." So I think the playoffs have been really good. I think the playoffs in the NBA have been really good. Part of that is because, it's kind of the freshness of actually seeing live sporting events with engaged crowds. I'm disappointed in the Maple Leafs. I hope the Habs lose. I hope they lose. I was hoping for 4, then 5. Now I'll take 6. I live on a street where I'm walking outside. I'm walking my dog, and guys are going, "Hey, Landsberg, Leafs didn't do so good. How about those Habs?" It's like, leave me alone.
I know it, man. Thanks for your honesty, because I get bitten all the time on things that I say, Michael. So thanks for keeping it real.
You're awesome. This was fun. I know you probably got to get rid of me now, but as soon as I click off, I'm just going to keep talking and pretending I'm talking to you, Rod.
It's been fun.
Rod, that's a great question. It's fun to talk about. We built OTR on the social, moral, and political issues of sport. And then we evolved from that when we realized that we had kind of played it out. But, I love the idea of talking about right and wrong more than I love the idea of talking right wing, left wing.
Oh, I know. Me too. I know. All right, Michael, thanks. I appreciate the time. Let's do it again soon. The iconic Michael Landsberg joining us from the Big Smoke.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.